Today we're in Austin, Texas, where we're going to visit the Lyndon B. Presidential Library.
Off we go. We hope we enjoy.
So the last couple of episodes, we talked to you about a trip we took to San Antonio, and we decided, hey, if we're going to be in San Antonio, what else might we be able to see that's kind of nearby?
In general, that's what we usually do because it makes it a little more interesting for us.
And you get more bang for the buck when you have to
Fly
get it.
or drive.
Yeah.
We're there. So
We're there.
Check it out.
And we looked on the map and said, hey, Austin, which is another place that we've had on our radar to go to and have never been to, is only about 90 minutes away from San Antonio. So we stuck Austin on the tail end of our Texas trip. When we were done with San Antonio, we jumped in the car, took that 90-minute drive, and showed up in Austin, Texas. And we're going to get right to the highlights of our visit.
One of the biggest highlights of our visit that we particularly wanted to see was the Lyndon B. Presidential Library. We are trying to hit as many libraries, presidential libraries, as we can. We've gotten to a couple of them, so we figured we were in Texas, this was near, we're gonna go to this one too and start taking more and more off the list.
Yep, we have many more still to see, kind of one by one.
Yep. We are gonna visit as many presidential libraries as we can, regardless of who they were affiliated with. We think that history itself is important, and it's something that I like to expand to all areas of our country and even expand out to other countries' histories if they have some kind of connection to us. So I have no problem entering any presidential library regardless of what party this president was connected to.
I mean, we've been to presidential libraries of Republican presidents. They're the ones that are closest to where we live, so that's easy. Mm-hmm. This is an example of a library that represents a president who is part of the Democrat Party.
Oh, I want to go to the JFK library.
Yeah.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, and I think for all of these libraries, for me, it's not so much about the party and that whole thing. It's more about the history. Because you get a sense of, here's what happened during those years, those moments in time. And there are things that, like this particular library, you and I would have been just born just about, right? Yeah. But there was things that we saw in there that were reminiscent, I think, of our childhoods. Mm-hmm. And so there's that bit of nostalgia factor.
Yeah. There's that, and there's also the presentation of every library that we've entered into, which has not been a lot, I will say. But when we enter into it, the presentations have been very, very fair and balanced. I mean, I haven't seen anything that was over the top at all. It's just trying to present the history of that time.
Yeah, and you get a sense of here's what was going on in the nation, in the world during that time. And a library like this is also going to give you the story of how did this leader at that point in time navigate through those things that were... I think every president has things that become unexpected. You know, after they enter office, there's always some world event that happens and they've got to navigate through it. And we got a chance to see what LBJ did through his presidency.
You also see their childhood. They will present their childhood and what shaped them as they were growing up. So that did influence their decisions also. So it's one of those things I love to go see because there's so much I don't know in this world. There's, an immense amount of information I am not aware of, and these are chances for me to get a little bit more of that history.
Yeah, and this was done well, I thought. There was a very multimedia, so, some stuff to read, some stuff to watch, some stuff to look at.
The exhibit includes a presidential limousine. It has a depiction of the Oval Office back in 1963. It talks about the White House years during that time when LBJ was living there. They have an LBJ animatronic, which was kind of cool. I like that, kind of a modern day look at LBJ.
I don't know whether you see all these problems that face America, priorities, the tender boxes, the poverty, the filth, and the education and disease, and the isolationism and the nationalism and the protectionism. I don't know whether you see these lines or not, but I hope you do. And I hope the Lord thinks they're lines too.
It also talked about Lady Bird Johnson, who had immense influence on her husband during these years in his presidency.
Yeah.
So that was cool too.
Yeah, and she also left a legacy for the city of Austin.
Yeah. We would recommend about 3 hours for your visit. It was a large building and it had a lot of displays, so give yourself time, and absolutely well worth the stop.
Yep. And if you happen to have the National Parks Passport book, this is one of the places that's connected to that whole system of places to visit, and you can get a stamp for your book, which I did. One more, one by one. Fill it up.